Yeah, good afternoon from Thailand and good morning in India. Info Markets created a history yesterday by gathering thousands of jewelry business buyers across India on jewelry and virtual exhibition. Hira Javarat, in association with Info Markets as a knowledge partner, is bringing forth today's session on creating trust in gems and jewelry. So we have four panelists here. So Sujay bhai, I will start with you. Let me introduce Sujay Ghosh. He is a graduate from mechanical engineer from BHU in 1979, MBA in financial management from Calcutta University in 1982. In 2004, he came to the jewelry industry and worked with many esteemed companies. In 2016, he joined Indian Institute of Gems and Jewelry, Mumbai, as head of the institute. Overall, he has been associated with the jewelry industry for 16 years. For past 4.5 years, have been associated with jewelry education and training. Sujay bhai, I would just like to go with you. What I mean, we are going to the seminar is on building trust, how the knowledge is building trust in our industry. So I would just like to go with you how people can get knowledge in our industry. So what are the courses your institute is teaching, and can you give a brief on that? We cannot hear you, Sujay bhai. You have to unmute yourself. Sujay bhai, you have to unmute. Yeah,
Abdul Bhai, can you hear me now?
yeah. I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for inviting me to this, be a part of this panel. And it's my honor and pleasure to be here. So, we, as an institute which has been sponsored by Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council in India, we largely focus on 4 areas of education of students who are interested, and also the children of the jewelry community in India, which is very, very large. We all know that the jewelry community could be as large as 5 million, but the figures may not be 5 or 6 or whatever, but it's a very large community. And as way back in 2000 and 1986, I would say, it was felt that the next generation, succeeding generations of jewelers who are joining the industry need to have certain standards of training, and the traditional way of jewelry making was vastly changing in and around the world. But those days, stalwarts like Mr. Sanjay Kothari, who is right now with us, they were the founding members of IIGJ in 1982, sorry, in 2002. And our institute was made in 2000 and end of 3. And thereafter, we started with our courses from early 2004. And since then, we have conducted, initially, we were doing a lot of short-term training programs for teaching the new entrants into the jewelry industry. And also, we were doing a 3-year diploma program till 2014. Thereafter, we found that the aspiration levels of the students, especially coming from the jewelry family background, was not so much into the diploma programs because they were not getting a real degree. And then we scouted around the country trying to find an university which would accept our course and make it into a graduate program. So if any students was from the jewelry family, if they were interested in going forward with higher learning and doing their post-graduation and MBA, so that's how we connected with an university which accepted our course, got it approved from UGC approved university, and today we are 7th batch is now with us, which is a graduate batch. The thing is that jewelry training was never it was considered as a traditional skill, and no new learning was coming because research angle was completely missing. So whatever the father thought was the best way to train his children, they were taught, but nothing new was coming. And since then, it has been our endeavor to train students in broadly into 4 categories. One were who are joining the industry at the basic education level of class 10. We have the short-term courses with them, and they can join the industry as karigars or as supervisors. Then we have the graduate program, which is after passing class 12, they can take up a graduation program at the institute, and we are just the training partners. The degree is conferred by the university, and then we found that many jewelry family community, they were doing a graduation program, say BCom or BA in some history or philosophy, and they were still joining their own business. So we started with a blended course learning postgraduate diploma program of 1 year, and where it is a very intensive course, and we have done now 5 batches of this. The students come out completely they are ready, they are industry ready to join their businesses and carry on, with the new techniques that we teach. That, of course, and the fourth is an area which we have done is as industry interface area, where we are going back to the industry and retraining their skilled workers, their managers, and we have been very successful in this. Large companies like Titan, in 2019-20 we did over 310 workers, not only of Titan but also Titan vendors, whom we trained at our institute. It was a training program of 7 days, which included a whole gamut of training, not only about bench training, but also CAD, and also a lot of personal relationships and how to motivate them. We did this program across many centers in India. So these has been some of the courses that we have been doing for the since last 16 years of our existence.
I think it's a great information for a lot of our young students and young people who wants to come and join our business. I like to go with Dr. Nikhil Alfred. He's the head of research, IGI Mumbai. He's been a geologist and I've been associated with IGI from last 18 years. Long time, Nikhil bhai.
It's been a long time, yes.
In the research department, working with the lab-grown diamonds, colored diamonds, treated diamonds, and color stones. Currently, he's heading the research department of IGI India. Nikhil bhai, I would also like to ask you the same question. What type of education program IGI is conducting?
Sure, Atul. So IGI started in 1975, and now we have about 15 branches in India. We have laboratories where we certify diamonds and color stones, both loose and in mounted conditions. However, we also focus on and are passionate about educating the trade and end customer. We continuously conduct awareness programs and educational courses. We cater to the next generation of gemologists, someone who from the trade who wants to upgrade his skill set, or someone who wants to join his family business, or even start a business of his own. We conduct courses for polished diamond identification and grading, color stones, retail technical training programs, jewelry design, lab-grown diamonds, rough diamond sorting, and star and Malay size diamond sorting and screening. And of course, it's very important in this time to kind of keep all your courses very current and relevant. So we have also introduced our Jewel Pad design course, which teaches designing on an iPad, and that helps in customizing jewelry fast and in real time and providing a better connection with the customer. Through our educational programs for all levels of the industry, we try and create a link between the retailer and the customer to help them better understand the gems and jewelry that they're selling better. For example, we did a retail technical training course with 500 of Malabar gold and diamond staff and 400 of the Reliance jewelry staff. And this helped them understand the product they're selling better and build a bond of trust between the retailer and customer. And trust is everything in our industry, as we know. So those are some of the courses that IGI offers.
Yes. Okay. Now I like to go to Mrs. Nirupaman Bhatt. Nirupaman, she is a consulting advisor of GI India Mumbai. Nirupaman served as a managing director of GI India and the Middle East from 2008 until June 2020. She has now taken up a new role as a senior advisor and focus on GIS Diamond Origin Report Service. She has received several global honors for her contribution to the gemstone and jewelry industry. Mrs. Bhatt has been active participant on several industry trade bodies including All India Gem and Jewellery Domestic Council, Gem and Jewellery Skill Council of India. She is also an invitee to the marketing committee of the Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council. Nirupaben, welcome. I want to ask you, Nirupaben, when I started work, I came into the industry, I learned everything in a traditional way. You know, so I want to ask you a question. Our learning have been a traditional way of learning. How do you think this new way of learning can help the entrepreneur in our trade?
So, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you Infosys, for creating this opportunity to connect with the industry. Thank you, Atul, for asking that question and moderating this. So, before I answer the question, Atul bhai, and foremost, I will urge everyone who is on this platform and those who are listening, please bring more women in the organization, in the industry. Tamara, he automatically said Mr. Butt. Please understand.
Sorry, Nirupaben.
Oh, sorry, it's not your fault, Atul bhai. What I'm trying to say is that we have to bring in
Yes, yes.
industries for women. And I think they understand how many of us really know what women want. Bring women in, and I think that is really very important. The education, and there are women who would be willing and who are available to do their, give few hours in a week, few hours in a month, within families, etc. Great role, and I think would really, really help our industry. So thank you. Just I wanted to make that point. So I think what has happened in today's time is that, of course, digital has become increasingly important in last few years, and I think this current unfortunate pandemic has really helped us to, and almost, if I can use, forced us to use these virtual platforms to such a great extent that we are all becoming used to it. We have learned a new way to connect, we have learned a new way to communicate, and this is true in terms of knowledge sharing as well. So today's, if I can start with the consumers, whether they are there in their 20s or in 60s, are able to really and are using digital tools sitting at home and getting this information they want. I think the industry must use, in my opinion, this continuous basis to engage with their consumers. What happens is that our entrepreneurs, I think they tend to hire, they know, and I understand why, and I understand the industry manages and handles the precious metal. So knowing the individual, their family background is important. But I would also urge that they should ensure that they give an opportunity to those who have received some training. Because for our industry to really grow, we need blood. We need people who can think differently, think out of the box. Because if we all remain in that same zone, we will not be able to grow. So first and foremost, I would urge all the entrepreneurs to really pay attention to all the work that is being done by either the IIGJs, several teaching institutes like IA, like IGI. Gem and Jewelry Skill Council is doing so many vocational courses, and I think they should all be given importance and recognition. The other very important thing is that if you're not able to hire, or if you are not hiring currently, please provide opportunity to your existing staff for training. Many of them have said when in from GI, when I used to go and meet, that we can't ask our staff to be away from their workstation or their sales counter or in manufacturing in the offices, wherever, for so many days at a stretch. But now we have this virtual platform available. So I think you can do every day, and you have flexibility of time. Use 2 hours a day, few hours a day, one day, whichever way you want. But I would urge entrepreneurs, because unless we are able to really engage with the customers, whether they are at B2B level or with consumers at the B2C levels, and provide them the information about what we are doing, whether it is technology, whether it is the ingredients that we use, whether the stories that we have for designs, etc. I think we will not be able to, or I would say it will be difficult to make a difference. So I would urge all the entrepreneurs to really give this, provide, ensure that let us all learn everything and let us provide and encourage this opportunity to all of our staff members
I
to
agree.
really learn. Thank you.
Okay, Nirupaman, please accept my apologies, but my slip of
I was
tongue,
making a,
my slip of tongue led you give a great message to our industry.
yes,
So
thank
thank you for that. Sometime a slip of tongue gives you a good message. Thank you. I
you.
think I would like, I agree with you, Nirupaman. My daughters are in this business, and you know that. But
Yes,
I think both the institute should come out with some special promotion for girls to join this institute, so which will lead to more girls joining this institute. Okay, Sanjay bhai, I will come to you with the skill program. Sanjay Kothari is the ex-chairman of GJEPC Mumbai. Is the director of DR Trade Jewellery Private Limited, chairman of GJSCI and past chairman of GJEPC, chairman of GJNRF, a charitable organization of industry. Sanjay bhai, I would like to ask you, what is the Skill Council of India and what is the work and what is the future?
Before I go on to that, can you hear me? I am audible.
Yeah. We can hear you.
Before I go on to answering your question, let me add that apart from IIGJ, which Mr. Sanjay Ghosh said that it is in Mumbai, there are 5 institutes run by the Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council: Delhi, Jaipur, Udupi, and Varanasi. Surat also there is one institute which is called IDI, and there are a number of institutes which are there. You and me are aware, Atul, that when we learned our jewelry business or when we learned our diamond or gemstone business, it was by practice, and it has taken us 5, 10, 15 years for us to learn everything. And now this generation is fortunate and lucky that they've got the institute ready. So what we could learn in 10 years, they are able to learn in 2 years or 3 years time. So I just wanted to add, and there are a number of institutes. People should join this institute. That is, from education to trust, we are trying to do this seminar on. So if they are educated, automatically the trust in the industry will come, and the trust in the consumers also will come once you are educated and once you are able to communicate better with the customers at the retail level, as Nirupa said. So these are the things which we need to focus on, and we should be part and parcel of this institute as our children. Even if we have passed and we are in the business, as Titan is asking their vendors to send people who are already working in the industry to the institute, so you get more upgradation of your skills. Now, as far as Skill Council, now coming to your question, Skill Council of India is an initiative by the Government of India, started in 2012. And there are 37 skills which government has identified, and gem and jewelry is one of the skill in that. So the main mandate of our Skill Council is to upgrade the existing skill of the people and to have new people into the industry. And there are various programs run by the Government of India wherein the apprenticeship is being catered to, and government pays some amount of money. They part with that when you have new people entering into the industry. And existing people, if they are up to the mark, they are issued with the certificate. It is like BA BCom certificate, which the artisans are happy to keep at their home also. So these are the initiatives of the Government of India. We from Gem and Jewellery Skill Council of India are into the process that we need to upgrade the existing skill of the people. You must have heard about Santa Fe, a city in US. Before the Vegas show, they run a course wherein Santa Fe Symposium is done. Since 25 years they have been doing it, and probably last year was the last year which they did it, and we have took the mantle from them, and we are doing it here, and its name is IJES, Indian Jewelry Excellence Symposium. We did that seminar in January to upgrade the existing skill of the people, where the experts from different parts of the world in different segments are called. They talk about it, and afterwards, after the 2-day seminar is over, the practical training, if anybody wants to have it, we are imparting that. This year, because of pandemic, it has got delayed a bit, but we have been negotiating with all the speakers and they are ready to come and teach the existing factory people also. So next year we will do it again if this pandemic is over, maybe in February or March, once everything is normal. And I would request all of you to join that program. The experts, every year or every few months, there are new things coming. And if you want to keep abreast with the existing things which are happening and the new innovative ideas coming in, you need to enroll yourself into this, listen to it, and see that what best advantage you can take of it. These are the main two things which we are doing.
Yeah, Sanjay bhai, I just totally agree with you. When we were learning, we need to have practice, and we practice with for 5 years. Sujay bhai, I would like to ask this question to you, because when we were learning, we took 5 years to practice, and we used to go to different companies to learn. I have a daughter. When I sent to India, I had to find 2 companies where she could learn. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are listening to us, and their children might be coming into this business. I just want them to be comfortable, and I want you to answer this question. How is different is your learning than the traditional way of learning in jewelry trade? How different it is, the traditional way what we learned, and how you are teaching, and how the new the people who are listening, the people who are with the owners of the trade whose children are coming, what they have learned, and what is this modern way of learning, how easy or how different it is for them to understand. Can you please give a brief on that?
Atul bhai, are you asking me or Sanjay
Yeah,
bhai?
no, yeah, you,
Okay, I'll give us a very small example. So how the earlier process of jewelry manufacturing would be, you would be having a manual designer who would present maybe 20 such designs to the Malik, to the owner of the thing. Then owner would choose maybe 3 or 4 based on no such parameters. He would just think, okay, these designs look good and they should be manufactured, and then we will sell it. Then the piece would be made by the karigars. The karigar would say, okay, this is a 5-gram jewelry piece. I require 8 to 10 grams to make this, and then I will give you the loss which comes out finally. So I'm just restricting myself till here. So what is to happen was that even that designing process in IIGJ, we are completely, I mean, it may not sound, but we are teaching that itself, the thinking process, design thinking process. We are not taking in the personal, concepts which the owner has. He's doing a lot of research. He's leading into the market research and reports what will sell. He's segmenting the market, and the students are manufacturing directly on either on Illustrator or on Photoshop or on 2D CADs using Coral, anything. Directly manufacturing. So we have cut down the level. These I'm saying is at the student level. Now companies still take manual designers who make manual designs. Then there is a merchandiser who will select from that. So we are saying that we are cutting down process to make the process more efficient. Even when I remember when I joined in 2004, the jewelry industry, the minimum time to get out a piece from the design to manufacture used to be 16 days. Today, a piece can come out in less than 4 days. You have the ready piece with you in 4 days because many levels are cut down. And that's exactly what we are teaching also at the institutes. And we expect that these students who are from the jewelry family will go and implement the similar processes, similar mind thought processes into their own companies. Thank you.
I would say that the new generation is blessed, with a lot of good institute like GIA, IGI in your institute. They are there from where they can learn. Like in our old times, we used to just listen to our superior. We don't know, no data, nothing. But with all this information available, and it's a very easy way of learning, I think entrepreneur, the owners can give their children a chance to come into this institute and learn. I would like to go with you, Nikhil. I heard, sorry, yes, Nirupa, please go ahead.
I think to add to what Mr. Sanjay Ghosh has said, the learning is a continuous process. So if we think of, in management institutes, they have this extension 5-day, 3-day programs where people keep going back to learn, new initiatives and, what new things are happening. The doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants, they continue to attend conferences, keep learning new things. I think what you said, yes, the owners, entrepreneurs, their experience is extremely useful. And I think what they can teach their children when they come into the business is unmatched. And I think that has to be respected. But I think from the time that they learned and that what they have implemented, I think the institutes can only add to those experiences
Yes.
and their learnings and make them much more capable. So while I think we respect what is being taught in the families and by the seniors and share their experiences, but I think the I would also urge, as Sanjay Bhai Kothari said, the Santa Fe or others, I think the entrepreneurs, even if they are in business for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, I think they need to be aware and they have to update themselves on a regular basis what new technology is coming, and then encourage, in fact, their children and the younger generation to go and learn about that so that the overall the business and the industry can improve. Thank you.
Yeah, Nirupa, I was just mentioning that was that like before 20, 30 years, you need to have somebody to know in the industry, do and learn. But with this institute, anybody not from our industry can put their children, learn into this institute, they come into the business and then they can go to some good companies with the degrees that we have learned and then they can try to get a job there or something. Before it was only through somewhere, some knowledge, some connection or something you could, but with an institute there, yes, newcomers not from our trade can also come and join our trade. That's what I was trying to say. Okay,
Yeah.
Nikhil bhai, I just wanted to say that I heard that there is a lab grown diamond course with IGI. Can you just give a brief on that, please?
Sure. So, firstly, Atul, I joined IGI about 17 years ago. And when we first started seeing lab grown diamonds, they were very easy to identify. Yellow color diamonds, color zoning, big metallic inclusions. Now we get colorless diamonds. Some of them are flawless. We no longer have metallic inclusions. With a naked eye and even with a loop, it's impossible to tell the difference, even for me after all these years of experience. These diamonds can only be caught using various techniques and equipments. So it's very important to continuously do research on these new synthetics and treatments even for these diamonds. And whatever we find in the lab setting, we try to implement in our courses to make them really current and also relevant to a professional who wants to learn more about safeguarding his business maybe from synthetic diamonds. So we try and have hands-on experience, make them use our equipments, so you can really know how to distinguish between a natural diamond and a synthetic diamond.
Okay. Nirupa, again with you, like we have been talking about a lot of knowledge and how people can get the knowledge and education. What is your idea that how we can build, how this knowledge and education can help in building customers' confidence, and what are the ways it should be implemented? I mean, you have been in so many forums here. I would just like you to give a brief to all our participants, how this knowledge can be implemented.
So thank you, Atul bhai. I think there are traditionally what we have said, and still many of us present jewelry to the consumers as investment. So if we continue to do that, the question and something to think about is, are we going to expand our customer base, keep it same, or will it shrink? Because there are several other options available to everyone for investment. There is the ETF now. So will they really come to our industry? So I think the first and foremost I would say is we have to really say we are in the jewelry business. So what is jewelry? We take this beautiful ingredients, precious metals, precious stones, and convert them into something which is so aspirational and so desirable for the women to really wear and make them look really pretty, give them that sense of importance, etc. And I think that is where we have to make sure that we are able to engage with the whether it is at a B2B level or a B2C level, engage with them by telling them the stories of the products that we are selling. Where does gold come from? Where is it mined? How difficult or easy it is? How does platinum come? You know, the story of how the platinum is found and mined is absolutely amazing. Look at the gemstones. Where are the gemstones found? How do they be find? How many years it takes to really form a gemstone? Why are there colors in the gemstones? And I think if you are able to tell that story, the consumer who walks in will buy not just that piece of or a few grams of gold or a piece of stone, but they will buy a piece of jewelry. And if that is something, if they love and they will remember that, yes, this is the story behind this, we have design and we have been talking about, having encouraging designers. Where did the designer get their inspiration from? And there are some beautiful designers, and whenever they draw something, whenever they present something, there is something that has inspired them. Can we create collections and really tell them story? So, for example, if when I got married, I was given jewelry by my mother, and I don't even remember how many grams it is. That piece of jewelry came from her mother, and she explained to me what that meant, what was the significance of that design. I still remember it. And so I think we have to give this our consumers experience. We have to give them the joy of really remembering what they are wearing. And I think that is where the understanding of what we are selling, where does it come from, and presented in a storytelling, the socio-economic development that today's consumers are very interested in knowing that it is sourced from the right place, wherever it is mined, the socio-economic development happens, etc. So, for example, you mentioned that I'm helping GIA to present this Diamond Origin program. That is what it is. And I know there are other organizations, businesses who offer, many of them tell the stories as well. And I think this is what is absolutely required, in my opinion, to really build that consumer confidence. And one last thing I would mention is we have to really focus on governance and make sure that we are able to really present and enhance our credibility in the eyes of the consumers.
Yes, I will go. Nirupa, I agree with you. Last night, I had a webinar on luxury in jewelry. So that was the main thing, that we have to bring the trust to create a brand, and brand leads to luxury as a luxury jewelry. Sanjay bhai, I would like to ask a similar question to you. How does this knowledge will bring confidence, trust in our industry?
In my opinion, honesty, transparency are the key figures in our industry. Yes, aspiration and design and all those things are part and parcel of it. But consumers should be convinced that whatever you are selling them is coming from the right sources. It is value for money, and whatever you are, the communication is the key. So these are the things which you can get learned in the institute or your own also. And this is what the owners of the shop should embedded into the sellers who are at the counters. And that is what is required. And because they are the key who are interacting with the consumers. If the consumers get the confidence that these are the jewelry which is a proper piece, which is not cheap, we are not cheated, and it is transparent, automatically the line will go upwards to the manufacturers and then to the miners, and everybody would have a linear growth in that. The consumers are the key, and the counter salesmen which are there on the counter are the key people who need to be educated to a great extent. And then everything would fall in line, in my opinion. We in institute, just go ahead. On to what Sanjay said, we in the institute, IIGJ, in 3-year course, not only we are calling the experts of the jewelry industry, but outside the industry, experts are being called, because we have to integrate our jewelry with the apparel, with the furniture, with the shoes, all the designs which are happening. And to integrate that, we are calling experts from different fields to educate the existing people also. And that is what is required, in my opinion. We need to integrate with everybody all around the other segments of the industry rather than only sticking to the jewelry. Why NID is doing? NID is doing because of that only successful NID and NIFP. They are teaching only designs, but the innovative ideas which the students get from different fields, their designers are better than any of the institutes.
Okay. Nikhil,
Now
sorry.
on to, if I may add on to what Skill Council has been doing, see, the world is changing to a great extent. What we were looking at 10 years back, 5 years back, and now, and what will be the future? Augmented reality would be the future. Artificial intelligence would be the future. Machine learning would be the future. And in that, our Skill Council of India has taken a step. We are trying to come up with the artificial intelligence program. It is a 3-year program. We are in the process of outlining it. And once that comes, all the majority of the issues which the industry has been facing may be resolved. Whether it is environment friendly, carbon, these, that, XYZ, all of these things would be covered into this artificial intelligence once it is coming in. And probably gem and jewelry industry would be the first to get, Indian gem and jewelry industry would be the first to implement this artificial intelligence program. It is just in the negotiating stages. I can't say more about it, but in few months' time, we'll come up with that for sure. And I would urge even the Bangkok jewelry people also to be a part of this IJES symposium, whatever experts we are calling. Even the experts from Bangkok were there in our seminar. So we need to join, and you have been dreaming about it, that we are two associations, how we can collaborate together.
Yes, I always say one country, two associations.
This is one more platform which we are trying to create, wherein no need to go to US for Santa Fe, and as it is, Santa Fe is getting close. Come to India, join with us and attend this IJES and take leave out of it and see what can be done best in the jewelry industry. And we are not competitors. We have to be comprehensive to each other.
Sanjay bhai, we both have been always talking that we are two countries, one association, and we have been working on it. Recently, I had a webinar on all the presidents of the ASEAN region, where all the presidents of the Gem and Jewelry Association, including China, Hong Kong, Cambodia, Burma, Myanmar, everybody were there. But I think, the countries near us, like Bangkok, like countries like Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Burma, they are looking for an institute where they can teach their consumer. I mean, what today I have learned is that institutes and this knowledge is is very much necessary for the owners and the entrepreneurs, and then to the marketing team, which is passed to the consumer, who has a confidence which protects our industry. So this is a very big thing, what I think everybody will take up from this seminar. But the countries around us need institute like you, GIA, Sanjay, your skill, IGI, they are missing this. And, a wrong information goes or wrong product is marketed, then we are losing a customer to other industry. So I think India as a whole and the institute where you are in India, you need to come here, need to work with the different president of the different countries and work towards it, not as an education, but we should pass this information that we need institute to build to protect our industry. Nikhil bhai, I would like, sorry.
Just a minute, to add on to what you have said, you are right. That all the neighboring countries people, the jewelers or the experts who want to come, they are most welcome to any of the IIGJs to train themselves, so that in turn they can get and train the other people also. And we have got ready-made courses, online courses are available, the books are available, everything is available with IIGJ Mumbai and Delhi and Jaipur. So they can get it learned, send your experts, and we can try our best to see that how the knowledge can be imparted to others, because we believe that sharing is the only way wherein we can grow the industry.
Yeah, but Sanjay bhai, sometimes not everybody can travel in India.
No, we don't mind coming. We will come.
Yeah, we want institute to be open in in a joint collaboration.
Ek minute, you organize a 1 hour, 2 hour interaction with the people from different parts of the world.
Yes,
we will come from here, institute heads we will bring, and see what we can do together and take it forward for sure.
Like what Nirupa Ben said, that we need the industry to be within us. So we need to create more awareness in different part of the country, so the consumer stays with us. But only the consumer will only stay when we are trained, and we are trained to pass the knowledge to the consumer. So we need to develop. I will try to organize a webinar with all the presidents of the nearby countries, with all the heads of the institute, and then we can take it
So,
from there.
Atul bhai, I would just like to add in over here that in 2019 I visited the Santa Fe seminar, and I met a high lady. She was also from there, from one of the universities, and I was surprised that after speaking to her, that probably Thailand is more progressive in terms of imparting education in jewelry than
Yes.
India is. They have 7 universities which are imparting regular degree courses in gems and jewelry, which is still in India, it is a far-fetched team. I was very impressed with her. She took a seminar, in fact, and she spoke in seminar. And we would really, if there is some way that we can, collaborate with these high universities, it would be very good.
I think I'll work on it, and we'll try to connect all these
Thank you.
presidents from the nearby countries, and they should take it to their student, to their entrepreneurs. Nikhil bhai, I would like to ask you, how is in the current scenario the education will play an important role? Can you just give a brief on that?
That's a good question, Atul. Well, I believe now more than ever before, knowledge is important. Knowledge is power, as they say. I know the current COVID, time is the situation looks challenging, but one must remember that the diamond and jewelry industry have existed, for thousands of years. They have survived wars and famines, and now more than ever before, people will realize the importance of relationships and love, and they'll want to find ways to show appreciation for this relationship, like gifting diamonds and jewelry. Now is a great time for someone to invest in education and upgrade his or her current skill set. We're now working with a newer generation of customers, somebody who values transparency and information. So we need to cater to him and allow him to make an informed decision. This could be in the form of a credible diamond grading certificate, or in the form of an individual in the marketing or sales department who has comprehensive knowledge of the product he wishes to sell. I'll just give you a quick example. So IGI started an initiative to partner with various retailers as a knowledge partner. So whenever these retailers would open a new branch, we would train their retail staff. We would send our gemologists on site, as a third party expert to answer any questions that may be posed by potential customers. And all these initiatives help to create transparency and trust in this industry, and help to probably safeguard this industry even.
Okay. Nirupaman, I would like to ask you one question. Can the industry ensure a sparkling career now in post-COVID because of this knowledge, because of the knowledge with the institute? We cannot hear you, Nirupaman. Yeah.
There is a significant or there are significant opportunities for those who are already in the industry or for others to come in. There is a room to grow. So what we should not really, in my opinion, restrict as an industry to say the gold supply is limited, diamond supply is limited, gemstone supply is limited. I think we can do so much more by creating new designs, using different techniques, technologies to form light jewelry, some other collections, use other material as well. So jewelry at the end of the day will always be in demand. The question is, are we able to present it in different forms? New ideas, we need new thoughts, we need new creativity and innovation. How to engage with consumer, how to present products, design, everything. There is a significant room, I believe, for growth.
Sanjay bhai, I would like to ask you, is the available education industry employable? Why there's a
Yes,
lack of why the lack of job security?
No, no, listen, today in pandemic and because of the COVID and 2019, it was probably a bad year for the luxury items. So all around the world, there is a problem in that. But believe me, in 2 years' time, everything would come to normal. Maybe 2020 and 2021, the business would restrict to 50, 60%. But once this is all over, when the traveling is back in normalcy happens, I'm sure the industry will come on its own in 2022. Yesterday also some analysts said that the luxury will grow in 2022 and 2023. One of the biggest analysts said this. And in my opinion, and I have been always telling that as long as ladies are there, the jewelry will sell. And now even for men also people have started making jewelry. So there is no issue on that. But one thing is sure, what Nirupa said, that don't restrict yourself to gold, diamond or silver or platinum. Go for other product, go for wood, go for other material. And in India, there is heritage jewelry which has been made to a great extent from different crafts. So go ahead with other craft and do the jewelry and make people, women happy. That is what the way forward for probably for all of us. And we in the institute and the sector skill also are trying to focus on that also.
So Nirupaben, I want somebody of you to answer me this question. Isn't it the time to unify the gemstone grading system among all of your educational this educational centers? Hello, I cannot hear. Nirupaben or
I'm not full time now with GIA, so I'm not answering this on behalf of GIA. But I
yes.
still, with all the experience that I have, I would say that as far as the grading standards are concerned, say let's start with diamonds for example. The GIA grading standards are universally and globally accepted. And we have seen that the 4Cs are used by almost everyone. Not almost, all labs without exception use. Consumers recognize that, industry recognizes that. I think what is really important is that while the nomenclature is used, the question is, are they really using that standard? So for example, if I say, if I see the background against which you are sitting, it's white, there is a little bit of cream. I have a little cream background. Sanjay Bhai is sitting and there is a cream background. These are shades. So instead of saying this is white or cream, we have to use that exact standard. And I think what is really required for the industry is to use that. If you are using the GIA nomenclature and those descriptions, they must use the GIA master stone set. I think because that is not being happening, I think that is where we see different grades that happen. And I think it is really very important, and I'm glad you asked this question, to build consumer confidence.
Yes, that is the reason I asked. How to consumer have a confidence? Whom to believe? Whom to trust? What
Correct.
method to follow?
There is one standard. So if all labs start following those correct standards, use those master stone sets which GIA has, and I think GIA provides this. In fact, when in my previous role and when I was working with GJEPC and they were working on creating the ISO 17025 standards guidelines for that, GIA offered that they will create those master stone sets and give it to GJEPC, and then GJEPC can give it or sell to the other laboratories to use for reference. I think so. There are standards available, and again, I think GIA, it's being a not-for-profit institute, has been very open in creating that awareness and disclosing and explaining. In our education, GIA does explain what are those 7 pearl value factors for pearls, color stone identification, everything that is available. So I think it is there. What is really important is that for all of us, for the industry to ensure that they demand those standards. If that happens, yes, it will make a difference.
Okay, I have just Nikhil. I don't want to start a debate on this, but I would like to have a IGI view on that. It's not
Yes.
a
So
debate, please.
no, it's a great point that you brought up, Atul. The thing is, we must remember that grading is not an absolute science. It cannot be contained, so to speak, because you're looking at it's very subjective at times. We try to make it objective, but it's very subjective at times. You're looking at different graders examining a stone which maybe has different inclusions. So we have to remember that. But that being said, I think that most of the grading institutes all move in the right direction. They're not trying to standardize their grading process. They're trying to follow the norms set down by the 17025 certification. So I think we are moving in the right direction, but it's not as easy as other forms of science where the values are kind of constant. So
Okay. I think I just want to like sum up this, that this was a very nice, informative webinar, not for the people entering our trade, but also for the old veterans who are entrepreneurs who are in the business. They need to understand this, that knowledge is very important for them and their children, not only to know the business, but to let the marketing team know also, so they can pass the knowledge to the consumer, and the trust and transparency can be created, which in fact will protect our industry. So I think it's fantastic that we had all of you here to bring this message to all the people in the industry. So finally, I would just like to thank Informa Marketing along with Hira Javarat International. I would like to thank the speakers, Sanjay Kothari, ex-chairman GJEPC, Ms. Nirupaben Bhatt, consulting advisor GIA India Mumbai, Mr. Sanjay Ghosh, head of institute IIGJ, Mr. Nikhil Alfred, head of research IGI, and the convener Rajesh Bajar from MD Hira Javarat. Thank you everybody. It was nice having you here. I promise you one more thing, that I need to do an webinar with all the president of my neighboring countries, with all the with all the heads of the institute in India, because India is a diamond place, and then we need to create the trust among all the neighboring countries. I will also ask the Colorstone Grading Institute from India to Thailand to join us. We need to create trust among the entrepreneurs and the consumers, so that the money, if a person have $1,000, we want the $1,000 to be spent in our industry, not in other industry. For that, we need to create trust and transparency. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Can I add one thing? Can I add one thing?
Yes, Sanjay bhai, please.
Half a minute only.
Yes, please, Sanjay.
Now the whole world has changed. The technology is going to take to make a pivot, to do a pivotal role in our industry. So involve the IT, involve the technology aspect of it, and then the way forward is there. So don't shy away from the IT industry, but involve them in the jewelry industry. And we in the sector skill are trying to involve them so that we can grow further in that.
I think, Sanjay bhai, today's webinar has really created a mission statement that knowledge is very important to protect our industry, from all the way from the owners to the marketing to the consumer. And whoever are involved in this knowledge sharing, all the stakeholders, we should get involved and see that the message is passed to all the members of our associations and
organize a meeting with all the Asian countries,
yes,
and as
yes.
soon as possible we
yes, I will do that. We did
it
with
will
all
be
the
our
presidents.
pleasure.
We did with the I did a seminar with all the president of the different ASEAN plus 6. We called. I think I will work on this, and we should do this on it. I think. Thank you everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.